Many of the new Star Wars comics by Marvel have been very involved with the criminal underworld of the galaxy. Today I wanted to talk about those criminals, who they are, what they're about, and where they can be seen. I want to start by exploring a scene from Darth Maul issue 3. It's one of the earliest stories chronologically in canon right now, and features a number of criminals all in one place as they bid on the right to purchase a captured Jedi Padawan. Front and center is Grakkus the Hutt. He was first introduced in the main Star Wars run as someone very interested in Jedi culture. Many years after the events of this comic during the time of the Empire, he was a known collector of Jedi artifacts. Unfortunately for him, that was crazy illegal and the Empire put him behind bars. He was liberated by rebel forces who tricked him into revealing the location of his secret armory. He was eventually locked up again on the prison world Megalox Beta, where he could be found at the time of The Force Awakens. He was broken out of that jail by Poe Dameron in exchange for information regarding Lor San Tekka. Right behind Grakkus are members of Black Sun. They were the most prominent criminal organization in Star Wars Legends, and they've made numerous canon appearances as well. Most notably, they were part of Darth Maul's Shadow Collective in the Clone Wars. We also know their organization was still operating after the Battle of Endor thanks to their appearances in the Aftermath trilogy. The Pyke Syndicate were also members of the Shadow Collective. They were most known for their work in the spice trade. We currently don't know anything about them beyond the Clone Wars. Far to the left, we can see a number of Kyuzo dressed similarly to Constable Zuvio from The Force Awakens. I suppose it's possible one of them could be Zuvio himself, but he actually seemed to be a pretty stand-up guy in the short story High Noon on Jakku, so I expect these guys are different. We don't know who they are right now. Right behind them are a number of Trand Oceans. It's no surprise to see them trying to buy a sentient being. They were big into the slave trade, but they mostly dealt in Wookiees. To their right, we can see a number of Weequay, and one of them looks an awful lot like Hondo Ohnaka. In fact, I would be shocked if that weren't a young version of him and his gang. Moving on, we can see some Mougins, who also appeared in the Clone Wars series, where they were portrayed as smugglers and slavers. And finally, from this image, I have no idea who this dude is, but he seems to be guarded by a number of IG assassin droids. If anyone knows something I don't, please leave a comment. I should also mention the host of this party, the leader of the Zrexis cartel named Zev Zrexis. The Darth Maul comic is her only appearance in Star Wars so far. Now I'm going to switch gears a bit and move over to a very similar gathering of criminals in the Dr. Aphra comic, issue number 9. Here, Aphra is attempting to sell the artificial intelligence of an ancient Jedi, and she has a number of interested buyers. One group, known as the Pride, made their first appearance in the first Darth Vader comic. Based out of the jungle planet Sontul, they were a major rival of the Hutt clan. Their operation was hit hard by Vader, and their territory was given to Sootha the Hutt. Speaking of him, he was also at Aphra's meeting. He served Jabba the Hutt and the Hutt clan in general. Papa Torin was a being that always had two small flying creatures that served him. His first appearance was in the Lando comic, and he hired Lando to steal one of the Emperor's yachts. At some point between the Dr. Aphra comic and the Poe Dameron comic, he was imprisoned because we see him in the same jail as Grakkus the Hutt. The Cyban front were criminal droids that worked with the droid Gotra. The Gotra was a completely separate organization made up of battle droids from the Clone Wars that were abandoned and wanted droid emancipation. The Shadow University is a new group that we don't know anything about yet, except that they wore dope glasses. The Ezra are new, but not completely new to canon. They first appeared shortly before Dr. Aphra 9 in the Screaming Citadel. They wanted to overthrow the Empire and replace it with their own so they could consume the flesh of lesser species. They sound like fun. Thomas Tuve is another new character who Aphra seems to hint is interested in finding the secret to some form of immortality. And one final organization from the first issue of Dr. Aphra currently has no name. But she owed them money, and a representative named Sue Tath came to collect. We don't know anything else about them, but they seem to have a unique style, so I'm guessing they're new and not part of any of the other groups I already mentioned. Those are all the criminal groups I could scrounge up in the comics. Did I miss any? Are there any you'd like to learn more about? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out my Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.